How good is the new Elysium Eau Intense, and how does it compare to the original Elysium Parfum Cologne, which we all know and love? Well, the new Elysium Eau Intense did surprise me when I first sprayed it on, and I realized actually this goes in a different direction, at least in the opening, to the original Elysium. This has rhubarb in the opening, which is quite a complex note and not one that I'm too familiar with in other fragrances. It's not one you'll often see listed as a note, but rhubarb adds a very green, pungent, kind of sour quality to a fragrance. It's not very fruity like other fruit notes that you might come across. So as you first try this, even when you smell it from the cap, it does smell very green and quite pungent. So if you like green notes, then you're going to really like this. But it does smell different to the original. The original mainly has grapefruit, lemon, lime, and it's very, very zesty, fruity, and a beautiful fragrance in the opening. Whereas the Elysium Eau Intense does have grapefruit. It does subside into grapefruit and lime. But first of all, you're going to have this semi-green, sour rhubarb smell. Now, both of these fragrances, as they go into the dry down, do have blackcurrant, apple, juniper berries, lavender. So there are lots more similarities as you go through to the dry down. I really pick up the blackcurrant note in Eau Intense. It's very fruity, a bit green still. We're sticking with that green quality as we go even through to the dry down. Now, one thing that this reminded me of something as I was testing it, I couldn't think what it was, it took me a while, and I realized there is a note in this and in Carolina Herrera Bad Boy Le Parfum which really remind me of each other. Now, this and Bad Boy Le Parfum are not similar in the fragrance structure, in the DNA, or even how they make you feel. They're not similar fragrances, but there's one note in Bad Boy Le Parfum and a note in here, a strong green note, which really remind me of each other. Now, it's not a bad thing. I love Bad Boy Le Parfum. I think it's a great fragrance, and this I've been really enjoying as well. But the main difference between this and between Elysium, the original, is that green note, which I think you really need to appreciate if you're going to enjoy this new Elysium. Now, as we reach the far dry down, the main difference between these two for me is this becomes more woody and more ambery. The original Elysium, I guess, stays fresh all the way through. This one goes a bit more woody, and you have this kind of ambery feel that comes through. So it does change. There's lots of different contrasts here. We have the green note in the opening, we have the fruity note, we have woody notes, we have ambery notes as well. So lots of different things going on. And I also should mention the aromatic notes. We have juniper berries, we have lavender. This is aromatic as well. Green and aromatics are going to be the main two type of notes and accords that you're going to smell. Now, who could I imagine wearing this? Well, now this could be worn by almost anyone during the spring and the summer. It is quite versatile. I think this is going to make a really good vacation fragrance, one you can pack in your bag with you, take it to the airport, go to a lovely hot climate, and imagine you're wearing a nice button-down Ralph Lauren shirt, you're walking along the coast, you're getting a nice cocktail, you're in a really nice, relaxing, comfortable, beautiful setting. You can smell the sea breeze, you can smell the salty seaweed in the air. This is when that fragrance is going to shine. I think it makes a really good vacation fragrance. And Roja fragrances, always to me, they smell very high class, they smell expensive, they smell sophisticated, and normally it suits somebody who is already well put together, a well put together gentleman. This fits that vibe as well. This is a really well blended, balanced fragrance, and it does smell very, very nice. The performance is quite similar to the performance of Elysium, the original. I perhaps get a bit of a stronger performance, especially in the base notes of Eau Intense, because those woody, ambery notes are going to stick around for a longer time, on my skin at least, than the original. So the take-home message from this video then is you can actually own both of these. It's not redundant to own both because they do smell fairly different. There is, I would say, there is only about a 40% comparison between these two, so that it's not a huge similarity between them. And if you want to, if you really enjoy the Roja fresh DNA, then you could certainly own both because they do smell quite different. Well, let me know if you've tried Elysium Eau Intense and let me know what you thought.